Hi, Dan Cardoza back here with day number 13 of the Transform 21-Day Rapid Fat Loss Toolkit. We are more than halfway through the course, and I hope and trust that you are learning lots and putting all of these habits that we're talking about into practice. Now, today in day number 13, we're going to talk about water consumption. And I know what you're thinking. Dan, I've heard it before. I should be drinking 8 to 10 glasses of water per day. You know, that there's nothing new to that, nothing exciting about that, and I realize that. But what I want to hopefully convey today is the idea that there's a minimal amount of water consumption that you want to be taking in each day, and it is actually very easy to do if you break it down into small chunks and make it happen. But first, before we get into that, absolutely water is going to be essential for your fat loss and weight loss results. Here's what I mean. Water, as you may or may not know, consumes makes up 70% of your body. And so if you think about that, just that alone, that should tell you how important water is. It's related to every function in the body. I can't think of really anything that doesn't count on your body consuming water to function at its optimal level. And that includes your metabolism, your exercise, diet, nutrient absorption, all of the habits that we're talking about here in the Transform 21-Day program. All of the things we're talking about are connected to and related to and dependent on the adequate consumption of water. And so fat loss golden rule number 7 is that you need to drink, and I know this doesn't sound new to you, but you need to drink 8 to 12 cups of clean drinking water on a daily basis. Now you say, well, 8 to 10 cups, is it cups or is it glasses or is it bottles? Here's the truth about how much you need to be drinking on a daily basis. 8 to 12 glasses is what you might have heard, but technically a glass is considered 250 milliliters or 1 cup, depending on what measurement unit you're more familiar with. So 8 to 12 glasses, if you have a bottle of water like the one you're seeing on the screen, those small bottles are actually usually 500 milliliters or 2 cups. So that would be 2 servings right there. So if your goal is to take in 8 to 12 cups, that only means that you need to take in 4 to 6 of those small 500 milliliter bottles on a daily basis. That sounds more reasonable, right? I think most people, they have this idea that 8 to 12 glasses, they just envision this monstrosity of a bottle of water and consuming gallons and gallons and gallons. It doesn't have to be that way. It can actually be fairly easy to do. Now, the amount you say, well, is it 8, is it 10, is it 12 glasses? Well, that depends on your size. And right in front of you right now, you've got a chart, and you can kind of figure out, based on your weight, how much water you should be consuming on a minimum basis. So for example, if you were 140 pounds, for example, you take half that amount, 70, and that's the amount of ounces that you'd want to consume. So if you're 140 pounds, cut that number in half, you've got 70 ounces, which is only 8 to 9 cups. That's only about 4.5 500 milliliter bottles. Let's say you're 200 pounds. You cut that number in half. You've got 100 ounces. And again, that's only about 11 to 12 cups, or about 5.5, 6 bottles of those 500 milliliter bottles of water. So you can see how easy it is. And so what I want you to do right now is figure out what your weight is, cut that in half, and that's how many ounces you should be consuming at a minimum level on a daily basis. Now you say, well, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles, that still seems like a lot. But again, if you break it down and divvy it up, you don't have to consume it all in one shot. So what I would encourage you to do, we already talked about eating small, regular meals throughout the day, more of a grazing approach. I want to encourage you to start aiming to have 1 to 2 bottles of water between each meal. So that breaks down to about 1 cup of water per hour. Is that unreasonable? Is that way over the top? I don't think so, and I think it's very manageable for most anybody to do. And so fat loss golden rule number 7 is just simply have 8 to 12 cups of clean drinking water on a daily basis, and it will certainly give you a charge with your fat loss and weight loss progress. That's all for now. I will see you next day.